Hi YouTube, it's Divine Feminine Chai. Hey guys, so as promised, I'm going to be doing a collective reading. I didn't have anything specific to say. I channel messages all the time, so you know, my spirit guides talk as much as I do, just much quieter. But I want to do a collective reading. As of lately, I've been feeling a lot of changes, got a flyer. Yeah. Full card, new beginnings coming in for a lot of people in the collective. It's funny, I was just about to say some good, some bad. So you see Kronk's got those two angels, the good angel and the bad angel. So new beginnings coming in for people, and I know I've been pulling the Ace of Swords a lot. It's kind of that double-edged sword feeling. It's not that it's a bad thing that's coming. It's not that you're gonna feel bad or anything. It's kind of like how I was saying in my last reading. Say that you're trying to manifest romantic love, and you start getting all these really negative experiences. Well, it might feel bad, but what ended up happening was you met the person that you were supposed to be with on this path. That sometimes bad stuff isn't that bad. I think the collective is kind of starting to accept that now. We got this Hangman energy. A lot of us have been in suspension. A lot of us have been in a transition phase where things are getting moved out, things are getting pushed to the side, people are getting left behind. You can't take everybody with you. You got to kind of do it, you know, a different way. Do it however your soul needs you to do it. But there's this enlightenment that's coming across for people. People are starting to realize we can't do things the way that we've been doing them. I mean, it's been a long time coming, but emotional fulfillment, that's something that is important to people. I know people talk a lot of crap about these kids and this cancel culture and all that stuff. Well, we have a whole lot of generations that have problems with connecting to their emotions. I know in some of my tarot readings that I've done, I've had, you know, I had a recent person, I'm not gonna mention their name. I will say that they were a man and they were a little bit on the older side, and when I did his reading, he cried. And this isn't the only time I've had it happen. I've had it happen in my Reiki sessions as well. But men will say, I don't know why I'm crying. Well, because you're supposed to, because you're a human, hopefully not a cyborg. But you're supposed to cry. That's okay. But we've grown up in this toxic, masculine world thinking that grown men don't cry for some reason, or they're shamed for doing so. And I'm not putting any men down that may have felt that, because that is what we're taught. Even as a woman, when I was growing up, I grew up in a single parent home. I was told not to cry because it shows weakness. How the hell could crying show weakness? Do you know how hard it is to cry in front of people sometimes? That's one of the hardest things I've ever done. Being open, emotionally vulnerable, that's extremely difficult. No weak person can do these things. So, you know, we're coming out of that phase. There's a new dawn, a new day, you know. And for anybody who thinks that my Gen Zers are overly touchy or what it may be, and I know I've thought that in the past, I get it though. I get it. Coming from, you know, think about the people that from my generation. I'm a millennial, so the people from my generation, you know, will have the same like outer, some of the people that are born around my time will have like the same outer planets, like Capricorn. I have a lot of Capricorn. The way things work just need to shift. The way things are happening need to shift. It's good to work. It's good to, that hustle mentality though, that I gotta go, that stuff's no good. It's no good. I have a friend, and I know she's gonna watch this, hopefully she's not pissed at me for mentioning her, where she's kind of burned out where she's at, you know, but because we have to live and eat and have clothing and food and stuff, people end up being stuck in places where they don't want to be. And that's not healthy, because you need to stop sometimes. I talked about it in a couple of my Instagram videos, but I had gotten a job recently and I broke my foot. I broke my foot in 2 places and twisted my ankle. after my foot healed, the ligaments did not heal properly, and I needed to be on crutches still for another 2 months after the bones actually healed. I lost my job. I was depressed and everything. I didn't understand why that stuff was happening. I'm like, gosh, I'm trying really hard to, remain focused, remain diligent. And they're telling me, oh, our policy says that. I don't give a hell what your policy says. I can't walk. I literally worked I didn't work in a factory, but I was overseeing people that work in a factory, which requires me to go downstairs in a warehouse, and you want me to walk on my foot when I can't. But this is the mentality we grew up in, because people, we want a hot body in the seat. We don't care if they're ill or not. That stuff's not okay, and we're moving away from those things. People are learning to live from a more heart-centered space. There are a lot of people quitting their jobs. After COVID and all that stuff, people realize, even a government job is not necessarily guaranteed that I'm gonna get paid, Nobody wants that. People need to live. People need to eat. People need to survive. Gosh, you got the King of Cups we got the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Cups. Like, wholeness. This transition period has allowed us to reach a sense of wholeness. Look at this alligator crocodile dude behind Ms. Yahook. It's like he's lurking. I feel like a lot of us have had issues with codependency, issues with toxic family, toxic friends. A lot of us are broken generational curses, and finding that sense of wholeness within ourselves instead of looking for it outside. I know for the longest time I sought approval of older women because I really wanted my mom's approval. I had never even considered that I had, wounds from my father, which I wasn't seeing as well. I don't have the best relationship with my parents, but regardless, I still choose love. Love is the highest frequency that we can have, and I know that love exists in all situations. The collective is waking up to that understanding. There is still love, even if you are somebody who relates, and honestly, if you're here, you probably have a mom wound. That's what I deal with predominantly, mother wounds and things like that. I have a high affinity for people who have wounds from their mothers. Doesn't mean they're bad people. My mom wasn't always the nicest to me, but I do believe that she did the best she could with what she had. The issue is that a lot of us had parents, most of us had parents that also had, all of us had parents that had trauma. Everyone goes through trauma. It's just some of us had parents who never healed from that trauma, and we inherited that. And that's why we have generations after, being a lot more sensitive. We need to be. Now, it'll get balanced out. Some people, the cancel culture and all that stuff, it'll get balanced out, but there needs to be more understanding of our emotional bodies. We focus on the physical. It's good to take care of your body. It's good to, you have to take care of your body. Take care of the vessel that you're in. I got a card from my grandma, and I looked at it the other day, and I didn't take good care of it. I didn't take good care of it, and I'm actually really ashamed about that. I didn't fully know how to take care of a car, but that's not an excuse. I could have looked it up. I look up anything else, But we have to take care of our vessels. But our emotional body is one of those vessels. We ignore the hell out of our emotions, and we need to embrace them. I'm not saying to be consumed by them. I have been consumed by emotions for a long time. I am a highly emotional person, a highly empathetic person. I will suck up your energy in a second without even knowing that it's happened. Now, all of a sudden, I'm having issues with forgetfulness and things that I don't really usually ever deal with. So we have to take care of that. And that this was happening to me because I am a strong empath, but I didn't understand myself, so I didn't have proper boundaries set. People walking over me left and right. Sometimes I'm walking over people because now I'm a victim, and it's just a whole, it's cyclical. They're patterns that we get stuck in, patterns that we have to release ourselves from, but that doesn't make us bad. I always when I think Kronk is a good example of that. He worked with Yzma in the Emperor's New Groove, and that was her henchman. But he was actually really sweet. He ended up teaching the kids how to speak Chipmunk at the end. You know, sometimes when we think things are bad or people are bad, they're just doing what they have to do, you know? They're just doing the best that they can with what they have. Honestly, it's like this and that are true, sadly. So we're coming to that understanding. That's what this transition phase was. Understanding who we are and how we got to where we were. Now that you understood where you are, a lot of us started to unpack those nasty emotions that got stuck. For me, I have a really, really, really hard time being vulnerable with people. People feel comfortable with me. I'm very honest, sometimes to a fault. I don't mean to be, but that's how I show I care about someone. If I lie to you, I'm caring about my feelings. I'm not caring about how it's going to make you feel. But when I tell you the truth, it's because truth, I mean, who doesn't want the truth? Truth is the truth. God is the truth. I mean, you want to know what's really going on. You want to know that I'm not going to just tell you something because I want to affect how you're going to feel. I'm actually telling you this because it's going to impact you in some way. And I think that you should know what that is, whether it be good or bad. I just feel like you deserve that right. And you can make the choice whether or not, you know, I made a mistake recently and the person was really upset with me. I was upset when they yelled at me. But I had to come to an understanding that I did mess up. And if I had been on the other end of that, I can't say that I wouldn't have done worse than what she had done. So it sucked being on that end of it, but that's a part of life. That's what this Hangman energy is right here. Sitting in suspension, being wrapped up in a bunch of crap, a bunch of old nasty ass feelings that you just didn't want to feel. You didn't want to feel that stuff. You stuffed it down. Some of you even thought you dealt with it. That's the crappiest part. You think you dealt with something, and then all of a sudden, it's rushing back in. And you're like, wait, why am I feeling like this all of a sudden? That's because you never dealt with it. You stuffed it down. There's a difference. I do it all the time. But my mission here is to reawaken the feminine energy. We have a lot of masculine, and masculine's good. We don't want to eradicate the masculine. We don't want the masculine to become feminine. And I'm not talking about men and women. I'm talking about masculine energy and feminine energy. We're dealing with only energy. What you identify as is not a part of this conversation. Masculine energy dominates, and you can't have one without the other. We don't need to exist in a world that is all feminine, and we don't need to exist in a world that is all masculine. We don't need we don't need the feminine to be masculine. We don't need the masculine to be feminine. We need people to accept what they are as they are. Like I said, gender and all that other stuff, that's not this conversation. I try not to engage in that stuff only because I know people are going to do what they need to do. Whatever it is, I respect it, and I'm not in those debates about who's real, who's not. None of that matters to me. All that matters is, are you happy? You identify as X, Z, I got you. It's all love to me. Heart chakra. We're coming into our heart space. The part of the collective that I'm talking to, my little oddball squad here, authenticity has been a really, really, really strong message. Being authentic, coming from your heart space, being you. People usually like me. I'm a Libra rising, so like I just tend to be very easy to get along with, but they think they like me. Then they get to know other aspects of me. Once my moon starts coming out, I got moon in Capricorn, I can be a bit of a hard ass sometimes, you know. I want things the way I want them. I am a very hardworking person. I know that I can do it on my own. So if I can do it, I need you to do it I need you to go at my tempo. But that's not always the best way to approach people, and I can be kind of pragmatic and it's sometimes compartmentalize things, and that's not bad. That's who I am. But sometimes it's hurtful to people. Learning to open that heart space, connect with your emotions, be able to connect with other people's with other people and their emotions. And I don't mean just, I know there are a bunch of empaths in here. There are a bunch of people who can pick up people's energy, but actually understanding what your heart truly desires. And once we come from this space where we can honor what our heart is desiring, we're able to open up and be ourselves. I have a lot of weird ass friends, and I hate that they're not themselves with people. We tend to be really funny and sarcastic and, overly friendly and shit like that. But instead of just being yourself and being weird and letting people say, oh, I don't really want to deal with that, you hide it. But why? Maybe those people will laugh at you. Maybe those people will hate you. But who cares? The one person that you can't lose is you. You are the only person that's going to feel that you've lost out if you don't have your approval. All these people around you, all those people that we've looked for approval from, they could never give it to us because they were probably searching it for themselves. That's why we have people that trend and all that shit. Everybody's doing what everybody's doing so that we can seek approval. When you get 10,000 likes and stuff, then you have approval. Bullshit. Because the next week, excuse my language, the next week you're looking for the same thing. You're looking for a way to get 10 million viewers and all that stuff. And I'm not saying that's even bad necessarily. Please understand, that doesn't mean it's bad. I'm not saying these people are fake or bad or anything. I want people to view my video, obviously. But when you're coming from a place where you're getting acceptance, and I know my content creators are going to be able to understand this, especially when you're newer, looking to see if anybody looked at your video and stuff like that. Like, no, you put out what you put out because it was something that you cared about. That's why these 2 videos that I'm doing right now, I feel the most like myself, because this time I'm just putting out a message that I feel spirit put in my heart, that I feel that's something that's important to me. I know the collective or the people that I resonate with, you're going to feel me, you're going to hear me, you're going to understand what I'm saying. I don't have to be nobody else. And if you don't like it, you are so welcome to click somewhere else. That's the beauty of it. And I feel like more people are starting to realize that we have a lot of cookie cutter stuff out here. A lot of things that look real, but they're not real. We have a lot of these beautiful families and stuff on YouTube, and a lot of it's edited, it's fake, it's scripted, it's not, some of it's real, don't get me wrong. It's real, but it's only one aspect of their life. You're not seeing the arguments and things like that, which you shouldn't. It's none of your business. But you don't see any of those arguments or anything like that. You don't realize how much work gets put into that. And that's the trouble with people seeing you when you're at the finish line. They feel like it was easy for you, and why do they get that? That's not necessarily true. I don't mean everybody's a hater either. You find what you are for the most part, or how you operate. We got the sacral chakra as well. I've been pulling this a lot for myself right now. That's why I felt like I really wanted to do a message. For your sacral chakra, it talks about our desires and passion and stuff. I've been feeling especially with this heart chakra, there's been a real ignition of passion within people, wanting to connect to passion, to connect with things that you actually love. I spent 4 hours, I said 4, watching somebody make glass. Now, not in one straight shot. I watched a bunch of videos about this guy making glass vials. I have no interest in buying it. I have no interest in making it. I don't know why I watched this. But I'm looking, and this guy, it's awesome. It's so awesome. And I know whoever is watching this, you cannot tell me you haven't spent 2 hours watching somebody create some massive painting that you may or may not have even liked, but how in awe you were of this person's creativity. That's where we're going now. The creators have space. You can literally live a life of creativity right now, and that's where we need to get people at. Even myself, I'm trying to build upon my business and send out healing. As I've grown and understood myself, I picked up on past lives, some of the most painful ones. I don't know if the collective has gone through this as well recently, but picking up different parts of myself that have been lost. We're so fearful of walking into the darkness, we miss out on opportunities. those feelings that we stuffed down, that we hated, that we couldn't believe we even had to deal with. Nobody should treat a child like this. Nobody should treat their family like this. Nobody should treat their mama like this. Nobody should treat their father like this. Whatever it was, their father shouldn't be treating them like that. Whatever the situation was, needed to happen. It had to happen. I know when I started learning about star seeds, they talked about us coming into lives that were difficult, and it was hard for me to see that my life was difficult, because I mean, yeah, we struggled financially sometimes. It just didn't always feel that difficult. But as I'm growing, I'm realizing I'm not fully paying attention to the emotions that I had to certain situations. So yeah, I might not have felt bad all the time, but there were a lot of times that things just went unnoticed, and that emotionality was not in my home. That was not something that was looked at as positive. A strong person never cries. A strong person is always peaceful and calm and doesn't get angry, and if you do get angry, it's for a reason. It's supposed to be, no. There's all these stipulations on how I'm supposed to feel. You can't tell me how I'm supposed to feel. I'm me, not you. And it's hard when you're growing up in a house like that. If there's anybody who, is under 18 and, you're living in a home, if they're not abusing you, I can't go to CPS and be like, damn, my mom didn't tell me I did a good job, my whole life. They don't care, She kept me alive. She didn't beat me, But that's not all it takes to be a parent. And the good thing about these generations, the Gen Zs, the millennials and stuff that are understanding this, we're not going to raise our kids to value that as well. But the beauty of it is, and where the balance gets struck at, is we understand the practical and the spiritual aspects of it. We understand that you need physical, emotional, spiritual, all those things need to be met. If you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, at the bottom there's all kinds of stuff that's survival. Even sex is in there, okay? You need this stuff. You need sex. You have to have it, okay? Not every 5 minutes or whatever, but it's a part of life, So honoring those things. Sacral chakra, I feel our collective, I feel some people have had shame when it comes to sex. I don't know if you were shamed, if maybe sex was looked at as dirty when you were growing up, or, maybe you have certain fantasies that you're not comfortable with. I get the sense that the collective is starting to explore certain things. Like, I know I was recently pulling cards and I got the idea that someone wanted to explore polyamory and things like that. And, I'm a firm advocate for people doing what they need to do. As long as you're not hurting, pedophilia or anything, none of that's a go. That's all. You can't do stuff like that to children. Children don't consent in the way, they don't understand the way adults do, so no, that's a no-go. But if you're not hurting anyone, if you're practicing something between two consenting adults, you need to do it. It's like, we can't have any more of trapping these things inside of ourselves. I got an image of somebody dripping hot candle wax on themselves. But hey, I kind of like the feeling of wax on my fingers. It's really warm and stuff. That's what I mean, like stuff that you might think is weird, that people might not think is weird. I'm half Belizean, and like some of the stuff we eat might be weird. Like I eat like cow foot stew and stuff like that. Like that's fire to me. But if somebody else looked at it, then we're like, what the flip is that? We eat oxtails and things like that. I don't eat that much anymore. Like, I don't really eat meat. I mostly eat a plant-based diet. But I fucks with seafood. Like, I have to. Like, I can't not have seafood. Like, I think I might implode if I don't have it. But no, I really like seafood. So I would say I'm like a pescatarian. Like, if you must have a label, I'm a pescatarian, I guess, but mostly plant-based. But some of the stuff we do might seem weird to some people. Even my, because I'm only half, my dad is Belizean. Some of the stuff I do is weird to even my mom. And, she's my mom. But I have other family that I've been around and other things that I do with them where she might not even find it normal, So learning to accept our differences. something that I learned, or that I taught myself, I don't know, whatever, in college. I have roommates from all over the world. I never really had American roommates. Well, I mean, they were American, but they're all from different places. Iran, Ethiopia, Eritrea, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Guatemala, all kinds of different places, and they all brought something beautiful to the table. We did not get along because a bunch of girls in one place, but something that they all taught me is how beautiful our differences were. So because we grew up in such a melting pot, we went to school together, college. Because we were in such like a melting pot in our apartment, we had all kinds of different food. You know, I got to hang out with their parents and go meet their family and have things I've never tried before, and just new customs and things that I would have thought were strange but weren't strange to them. You know, I got to learn about different things and how beautiful those things are. There's so much beauty in our differences. We try so hard to make everybody be the same. Even with, like, I don't really like wigs and stuff like that, but I do love how creative people get with them, so I can't really say that. I've seen some girls, like, I'm like, how the hell did you make that out of that? Creativity is always going to trump for me. But all these wigs and everything, we all look the same with all the baby hairs, and even, you know, it doesn't matter if you're even black. Like, I see white girls with baby hairs, you know, it's no bother to me. I think it looks good on them too, personally. It's just me. But, you know, everyone looks the same. I don't want everybody to look the same. There's so many, like, think about different cultures and customs. Think about, like, saris and stuff, you know, and like traditional getup from like Korea or something like that. Like, how beautiful and how much those things have impacted fashion industry and things like that. These are different types of creativity, you know. It would suck if we all looked the same. It just does, because there's so much beauty in the differences. When you look at models, because people always want to be like models and things like that, models tend to be weird looking, in all honesty. And I say weird because it's not the cookie cutter look. Yes, they're thin and things like that and have nice skin. They've got a lot of people helping them with that. But they're not the normal looking people. They're the tall, lanky people with long necks and long limbs and things like that. And they're gorgeous to you. They're gorgeous. They're not really, these models aren't, they don't have, well, some of them do now, but they don't really have butt implants and things like that. No, it's just their natural body, and y'all think they're beautiful, and they are. We all are, in different ways, though. Beauty, this is what the collective is understanding. Beauty looks different for everybody. I said in my last video, I'm not really attracted to men until I talk to them. You can be cute. That means nothing to me. It's hard for me to say you're cute because I've dated so many different kinds of guys. I don't have a preference as far as tall, skinny, fat, nothing like that. I have to vibe with you though, and that comes from your energy first. If your energy is matching mine, then I'll engage in a conversation with you. But if I can't get the energy that I'm looking for, then I'm not even going to engage in it. There's no way you're going to be attractive to me. And that doesn't mean you're ugly, because beauty doesn't come from the outside. It comes from within. This is what we're starting to learn and starting to grasp and accept. A win-win outcome. This transition phase has been really, really rough. It's been long. It's been lonely for a lot of people. It's actually felt emotionally unnerving. You feel alone at times. The times you want to connect with people and you feel like you're being told to connect with people, you can't. It's like, I need to go and be by myself right now. I can't do anything but be by myself. I have to be by myself. You know, and we need that sometimes. I told you, I'm a Leo sun. I'm a rising Libra. I love people. I love people. I get along with people. I get along with most people. I mean, literally. I'm kind of a either you love me or you hate me person. There's not really an in-between. I get along with all kinds of people. I love them and they love me, and we're different, and it's amazing, and it brings so much joy and enlightenment to my world. And this is where we're getting to. This is the point that we're getting to, accepting people's differences, accepting people as they are. But in order to accept people as they are, we all need to show up as we are. We need to show, I don't care if your hair is toe down, if you're looking broke down, busted, and disgusted, you are showing up as yourself. I could have 2 views on this video and I don't give a rat's behind, because it's high time that I got out here and said the things that I need to say. Whatever spirit puts on my heart, I'm gonna say it, and I don't care if 2 people watch it. And that's how I want everybody to show up. It doesn't matter if someone sees it, likes it, shares it, comments on it. It does not matter. Is it something that you got from your heart? Is it something that you believe in? Is it something that you stand by? Then that's all that matters. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter. Nothing else matters. Like I tell my daughter, do you like it? Does it make you happy? Then that's all that matters. There's nothing else that matters at that point. We're stepping into a time where it's okay to be yourself. A lot of people are manifesting love because of this. A lot of people are manifesting divine counterparts because of this. A lot of unions are coming to be because people are starting to accept themselves as they are. I'm not the smallest person. I'm not skinny by a long shot, and I've had times where friends are like, I'm surprised he was interested in you, and I'm like, why? Oh, you guys just seem different, or what, because he's not fat and I am? Like, who cares, you know? But because of that confidence, because I like who I am, it doesn't really matter to them. And you can be beautiful and big too. I'm just saying. My shirt, you can't see it, but it says curves are trending. I'm really happy that people are starting to step up and live their authentic truth. It's necessary. We have to have people living their truth. We have to live our truth, okay? Thank you so much for stopping by here. 30 minutes of me ranting. I mean, you know, it's pulling cards and stuff, but I'm really happy that you came, you watched. We came, we saw, we conquered. I'm gonna be posting more. I'm actually moving, so I'm going to be able to hopefully post a little more frequently than I have been. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep on trying new things until I find a mode that works for me. And I'm just really excited to finally be stepping into my own truth and my own power, and I really want to encourage everyone else to do the same. I want us to grow together, to learn together, and let's heal together, okay? Thank you so much. I love you, and I will see you again later. Bye.